foundation was started in about 1962 by the PTA of Warrenton High School. And I joined the foundation in 1966 and have been a member ever since. And so the history is there. What we did is we had a mission that we wanted to make the college available to everybody, and we knew that finances was going to be the problem. So we started out basically with scholarships. And I'm going to share this with you. Now don't laugh, but on our first fundraising dinner, whatever.
Sorry. Just trying to get you.
We raised $3,000, and we thought that was wonderful. And we spent every single penny of that on scholarships. Well, through the years, our mission has always been making funds available to students so that they can succeed in life. And I think that all of you agree that is a wonderful mission. So I'm going to talk to you about the Magic Opportunity Fund. I need to backtrack a little bit and talk about 1921 because this was during COVID, and we were having a meeting of our board, and we were told by our president at that time, Cliff Fick, that he had heard that they were having a fund drive for blankets and coats and what have you for students. People were living in their cars. They had no food, nothing. So we thought food was most important, and that's when we started the food pantry, and I'll get back to that. But each year we have our big fundraiser in May or April, and in 1922, we had a Raise the Paddle. You all know what that is. And believe it or not, we raised $102,000. Just think of it, going from $3,000, which we thought was great, to $102,000. Well, what were we going to do with this? Now, our scholarships, we have a lot of scholarships, but most of those are endowed or special grants type thing. And we were able to that year give $265,000 in scholarships. So what were we going to do with that 105? We were going to put it in our investment and have earnings, although it is the earnings for our investments that go to the programs. And keep in mind that the foundation is not part of the college. We do share our directors, but they have nothing to do with what we do, and we do hopefully have something to do what they do because we want the students there for them. But that year we gave 152 scholarships for a total of $265,000. But what were we going to do with that 102? Well, Cliff went around and he said, and we agreed, one of the biggest problems we had was keeping students in school. They'd start out in the fall and they'd run out of funds, so they wouldn't be there in the spring. So what could we do to rectify that? So we checked and said, what would it take? And they said, about $500 a term, $1,500 a year. I'm a math teacher, former. So 105,000, okay? And you want $1,500 of that? How much is that per person? How many people could you serve? Yeah, this young man he's it's okay. 70. So we awarded 70 grants. Students they apply for it. It's separate from scholarship. It's a need grant. You could get a scholarship and a need grant. What you get is $500 a term. It's put into an account, and the money goes for expenses for college. Anything left over after paying those expenses, could be all of it, go to living expenses, child care, transportation, what have you. So we're trying to do that each time. In 23-24, we raised $68,000 for that. Well, that wouldn't fund 70, but we were so pleased by the results of the year before. You know, of those 70 students that we had, 80% finished the year. They finished their coursework towards the coursework. They finished the coursework, got a certificate degree, and they graduated. The rest of the students, 60%. So we decided we were going to use discretionary funds and fund 70. And then this last time, we only were able to come up with only $73,000. But again, we are committed. We are going to fund a minimum of 70 need scholarships. So that is why we're appealing to you, because every $1,500 we get, that means one more student can do it. And what we did, we simplify a process. When we decided to have it initially, the awards for scholarships was the deadline was gone, and we had a separate one. Now they apply at the same time. So they use one form, they can have it for one or both of those needs. So this is what we are hoping to do. And I want to give you an idea of what we've done. Our total amount of money we have spent in 2021 was $455,000. That was for scholarship programs that we support, what have you. This past year is $690,000. So
now we have a time for questions.
Okay, may I take a moment on this time for questions? Oh, go ahead.
Would you tell us about the food bank and the food bank?
That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. Okay, the food it's called the Bandit Food Pantry. This was established in February of 21st. We made a donation, and then we had AmeriCorps people come. AmeriCorps paid the salary for those people to get it started. We had to open it to the public because we were getting fun food from the food bank here, and that was part of the criteria. Well, it turned out that the local people were using it more so than our students. And so we decided we were able to get a special dispensation or whatever, March of this year. And now it is only for students, or some faculty members can qualify too. And what happened is this past month, October, they had about 250 students use it, but it affected 600 family members. 600 family members. So I want to take a moment and tell you where it's at. It's open 3 days a week, 11 to 2, and it is in the old welding building where if you go up and you go behind the parking lot, behind Columbia Hall, and you're about ready to turn to go out of it, you're at the very end of the old welding building there, and that's where they're at. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 11 to 2. Now, what they need right now is grocery bags so people can take the stuff home, and clothing. My daughter visited me a couple of weeks ago, and we spent an afternoon going through my closet because, and I took in 2 huge boxes. She moved to Hawaii, and what did she do? She didn't want to pay the freight, so she had 2 humongous boxes of hand cream, facial lotion, shampoo, personal products. And we're